My research was to investigate the neuroprotective effects of Parisian arenaceus, which is commonly known as lion's mane mushroom or monkey's head mushroom, on depression and ataxia. Depression is the most common neuropsychiatric disorder. It is also one of the top global burden of diseases. About 30% of patients with depression fail to respond to their medication, probably due to some treatment-resistant depression and intolerable side effects. Therefore, we need to search for an alternative complementary medicine for treating depression with sufficient efficacy and less intolerable side effects. My results found that lion's mane mushroom can alleviate depressive-like symptoms, possibly through enhancing the growth of neurons in the brain regions that is associated with depression.
Bishan is a very hardworking and dedicated student. As you can see that during her 2 years of MPhil study, she was managed to generate 3 publications. One of her publications has garnered more than 50 citations in 2 years, and this paper was listed in the top 5% of research outputs by our metric. I'm very proud that Bishan was awarded the Ka Shing Prize.
There are a lot of people that I would like to express my acknowledgement. Of course, firstly, my supervisor, Dr. Lim Li Wei, and collaborator, Dr. Wong Ka Hui from Malaya University. Thanks for their guidance and support. And I also would like to thank my lab mates, especially Shara, Ricky, and Livon, and also my technical officer, Anna, for their technical and informational and also emotional supports.
My research interest lies in the field of health psychology and behavioral medicine. I studied the role of cognitive biases in chronic pain. So in my dissertation, I tried to explore this area using a new analytical method, which was a machine learning technique that analyzes eye movements in a data-driven manner. And the results provided support for major theories within this field. So this line of research may be the foundation of future research that develops interventions aimed at modifying these cognitive biases for the prevention and management of chronic pain.
I can't think of a student more deserving an award like this than Fred is, and I couldn't be prouder of him. Fred started with me as an undergraduate and he published his undergraduate thesis, then he did his MPhil and managed to publish an additional 6 articles during that time. And though he was really productive, obviously, and Fred was also a really conscientious student in the way that he worked with the other students in my lab. He was definitely the big brother of the lab. So yeah, I'm really grateful for the award givers for giving this to Fred.
And I would also like to thank my primary supervisor, Dr. Tom Berry. And Tom has been a really good mentor who provided me with guidance and advice in all aspects of research. And finally, I would like to thank my wife and my family members for the emotional support that they provided throughout this process.
I study the role of cultural biases in the financial markets, and I show that cultural perceptions affect stock analysts' recommendations. And in kind of a very narrow sense, it's quite important for the financial market participants to understand to what extent the information that they're using is biased in a systematic way, so that they can themselves make better decisions and use that information better. But of course, more broadly, understanding how these types of cultural perceptions affect people's decision making is quite important in many other contexts as well.
Vesa is an extraordinary student for many aspects. First of all, he is very fun to work with. And second of all, because he worked in investment bank for a couple of years, and that experience offered him extraordinary insight into the real world. So in the end, he would be able to utilize the experience that he got from working in the investment bank and came up with a very interesting job market paper idea. And that paper in the end is published in the Journal of Finance, the best journal in the finance area.
Before doing a PhD, I had a pretty long career in the finance industry. So I'm very grateful to the finance faculty at the University of Hong Kong for taking a bit of a chance on me and giving me this opportunity to pursue a PhD. It has been a great experience. both in terms of the brilliant research training that I received, as well as all the amazing individuals that I had a chance to interact with and work with. In particular, I would like to thank my supervisor, T.C. Lin. I clearly would not be where I am today without him.
I wanted to find ways to help students cope with academic stress in school. In my research, I found evidence that students with a past positive attitude and a hedonistic attitude, as well as a future orientation, they tend to have a wider range of thinking styles. And both qualities predicted a stronger belief that they are in control and a higher level of subjective well-being. And so I designed an educational course incorporating interesting psychology concepts to help promote these positive time perspectives. And the course actually helped students optimize the time perspective profile, and then they also became more likely to engage in reflection and collaboration. And from that, students also develop a stronger sense that they are in control, as well as a higher level of subjective well-being.
James' research ideas were conceived at a time when the suicide rate among Hong Kong adolescents was on a sharp rise. So, with a genuine interest in helping to alleviate the problem, James designed a research project that consists of 3 studies, including 1 intervention study. It was truly enjoyable working with James, so enjoyable that on multiple occasions I remarked in public, I would love to work with 100 James.
I will not be able to achieve this prestigious award without Professor Zhang's supervision, and for that she has my utmost gratitude. I would like to thank my family and friends who supported me in my PhD journey, especially as a part-time student, and a very special to my wife who was by my side the entire time.
My PhD thesis focused on the formation and fracture mechanisms of high-stress steels. Particularly, I've done a lot of research work about the processing design, microstructure, and mechanical properties optimization with transformation mechanisms. These investigations are very important for the fundamental understanding of the mechanical behaviors and mechanisms of metallic materials. Moreover, this thesis also promoted the lightweight applications of high-strength steels, benefiting to the energy saving and the environment protection.
I'm very proud and very pleased that my PhD student, Ms. Liu Li, won the prestigious Ka Shing Prize for her excellent PhD thesis. Dr. Liu's PhD thesis focused on lightweight automotive steel and achieved breakthrough in strong and tough steel. Dr. Liu is a smart, hard-working young lady. She is currently an associate professor at Harvard Institute of Technology at Shenzhen. She's likely to be one of the youngest female associate professors there.
I really thank my supervisor, Professor Huang Mingxin, for his continuous support, inspiring guidance, and great encouragement during 4 years study. My thanks also go to Professor Robert Ricci, Professor Yan Hui, all my colleagues, my friends, my parents, my elder sister, and my grandmother. I will continue to be the best that I can be.
The focus on my PhD research was to understand the impact of core antioxidant-related pathways, the folic cycle, thyroidoxin system, and MALT enzymes, as well as understand the detailed molecular mechanisms which drives their activity in human hepatocellular carcinoma, HCC. I was able to find that these were essential metabolic pathways for avoiding oxidative stress and maintaining redox balance for HCC survival, and that these were druggable pathways which we can target to sensitize HCC cells towards conventional therapeutics. Harnessing the knowledge from my PhD research, I have shed new translational insights into novel and effective therapeutic regimens to help these HCC patients.
Derek is a very hardworking and talented student. I also admire his courage, determination, as well as his never-give-up spirit in science. I'm very proud to be his mentor. I'm very excited that he's the recipient of the Ka Shing Prize of this year. This is the greatest encouragement for this young, promising research scientist.
I would like to thank my supervisor and mentor, Dr. Carmen Wong. Without her tutelage and her guidance, I would not have had such a successful PhD journey. I would like to thank my co-supervisor, Professor Irene Yi, a world-renowned expert in liver disease. Last but certainly not least, I would like to thank all my family and friends because none of them are actually in this field, so it's very difficult for them to understand what I do. However, despite this, they always continually support me and cheer me on throughout my whole PhD journey. There's this unconditional love and support which I'm genuinely thankful for.